Once again, be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left. Do not turn from it from the right to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. I'm going to repeat that because this is the promise and this is the terms to the promise for you to be successful for the rest of your life. He says, be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left. Do not turn like right. Keep straight, that you may be successful wherever you go. Yes. My topic scripture, we're going to go to Joshua 6, 1 and 2. Now, that sets, like I said, that sets to the basis to what we know we can have. It's very clear. He told us to be courageous. And the second time he said, be very courageous, because that's what you're going to need. But it's there. Yes. Whether or not you leave it behind, it was there. Yes. Whether or not you take full advantage of what's being given to you, yes, it's there. Yes. Okay? Okay. Joshua 6, 1 and 2. Let's go to verse 1. I got it here, but wait. There you go. Now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. Some maybe back in, maybe back in January, maybe April of last year. I forget the date. But we traveled back from North Carolina to back here home in Detroit. And one Sunday morning, I got up and I was preparing for the podcast. I was recording the podcast. And my wife left that morning to go drop off my grandson. She got back and she pulled into the driveway that you all came in today. She went to turn in and wait for the gate to open. But when she went to accelerate, she couldn't turn the wheel. She couldn't turn the wheel because the brand new 3-month-old vehicle that I bought, the pin came out of the steering column. Pretty much leaving the vehicle in a catastrophic condition without the catastrophe. This was not in the notes, but there was a line in that verse that I didn't see until now, and it ties into what he did for me. If you bring back up, I think on this second verse, 2, he says, See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. I have delivered what belongs to you back into your hands, along with the enemy, the very enemy that came against you. I'm putting it right in your hand. She called me from the driveway, said, you need to come out here right now. I'm recording. You need to come. But it was that, you know how when somebody has that tone, It's like, no, you need to come now. It's almost like you getting that phone call, your mama calling you, and you can hear her voice. She's serious. This is not a time to play. I'm not joking with you. You need to come right now. Yes. So I hit stop. I go out because I was kind of like irritated. You know I'm recording. And I couldn't. She rolled down the window. She said, "Look at this," and she took the steering wheel and just spent it. And I just stood there. I mean, because I didn't know if, I'm like, you can't, until it happens, you don't know even how to process what's going on. Because you're in a driveway. So that means that you went to Lodge. First of all, we drove from North Carolina to Detroit 650 miles the day before. Got my grandson the night before. Got up in the morning, took him home to 8 Mile in Southfield. Brought him and dropped him off. Mind you, my wife and my seed, my grandseed, was in the vehicle. My lineage was in the vehicle. She got all the way back home. And he delivered her into my hands. I kid you not. It's like he said, here. Here. That was not in here. The topic of the conversation is, see, I'm saying. You know, we use the term, when we say it all the time, and I'm known to say it all the time. See what I'm saying? When I'm trying to prove a point or express something, I say, see what I'm saying? But I don't say what. I say, see what I'm saying? You know, I ain't got time to say the what part. You know, that's too many syllables. I said, just say, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Topic of this is see I'm saying. See is used as a directive for them to format their thoughts to perceive or recognize what is forming. I'm going to say that again. See is used as a directive for them to format their thoughts to perceive or recognize what is about to happen. In other words, don't look at the situation based on your past experience. Look at it through the faith of the now. Yes. I'm not going to be here long, but I just want to, I feel like God has me on this journey, and I answered the call to make people aware of what he's showing me. I truly believe that if you are shown the problem and you have the answer, then maybe you are the solution. If you are shown a problem and you can see how to solve it, maybe you are the solution. But a lot of times we tend to not want to, we want to criticize it. We want to say what somebody else is not doing, but maybe it's because he's showing you this for you to do it. For you to do it. God gave them the command for them to see. God said in these things, he said these things as if it had already happened to them. I'm going to give you Jericho. Yes. Now Jericho was tightly shut up because the sons of Israel, no one went out and no one came in. The Lord said to Joshua, see? Now, when he said that, there was nothing to see. It hadn't happened. There was nothing to see yet. Right. What he was saying was, I need you to look at what we're about to do. Yes. And I need you to walk as if this is already done. Because I said to you, see. That's good. I've already done it. Yes. You just need to catch up with me. Yes. Yes. We live in a time But I'm going to check that back, because what we're dealing with right now is no different than what Israel, we're Israel. We do the same things. We're just the same hard-headed people that forget who delivered us from the last Jordan crossing, delivered us from the last Red Sea parting. He shows it. There's a scripture in one of the Gospels where he was talking to the disciples, and he said, wasn't y'all with me? Didn't you guys see me? You were right here walking with me. Why are you acting like you don't know? Why are you asking me how are we going to feed the 5,000? Didn't you remember when I fed the 4,000? And now you questioning whether or not I can add 1,000 to it? Or like, why you can't see that? We must be prepared to see when the prophetic word is given. We by right should get excited regarding the word, for we know it is already done. See, God created heaven and earth, and he did that in the first 7 days. But don't we know that our day is not his day? You got to understand, a day to us, we look at it as a day. A day to him is 1,000 years. Okay, so things develop. They have to develop. We know he created heaven in a day. But we look at it as if today, he said, I'm going to do it, and by tomorrow, 24 hours, it was done. There was 1,000 years. Now, it means a day to him. Right. But his day, so for us, it took years. You can't take the ocean and meet it with the mountains and land. There was a process. There was some calamity. There was a lot of force. There was a lot of things that had to happen for that to be. Now, it was a day, because he said it was a day. But it developed. When you see something, when he shows you something, we have the tendency, because it didn't happen tomorrow or next week, we get antsy. That's good. We get antsy, and then we start to want to move on with our plan because his plan ain't working. Meanwhile, he's trying to work some out in us, because if he gave it to us right now, we couldn't handle it. So I was in a conversation maybe a week or so ago. We were talking about life. I was talking to one of my nephews. I got a lot of nieces and nephews, so I just refer to everybody as niece and nephew. But he asked me about winning and losing. How do you not lose? That don't exist. But I challenged him to look at it differently. Why not look at losing differently? Don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as being perfected. God said something to me last night. Look at all this technology. Hold on one second. He said, real winners are losers that have practiced enough that in the real game, they are more likely than not to lose at those critical moments. I'm going to say that again. Real winners are losers that have practiced enough that in the real game, they are more likely than not to not lose at the critical moments. I was in a conversation the other day with sound engineer, and we were talking about all this equipment that I got that I'm trying to learn how to use in a matter of months, that I had no intentions to understand or be able to master any of this stuff. But certain things you have to do to get to where you're going. So I've learned how to run cameras, edit videos. I'm learning how to work all this equipment and make it all work. But we were talking about the classes that he provides for that. And he was stressing some of the, let's just call it irritation that he has with his students, because he demonstrated how he would show, okay, do this, do that, shut this off, and listen to it, and there it is, and that's the answer. And as he's showing them, they can do it. They do it, okay. But as soon as he stepped away, and he said, do it, they pause. Now, they go through a certain step, and then they get ready to hit the last button, and he's watching them, knowing that's the right button, but then they pull back because they're not sure. The frustration that he displayed was referring to is that they have it. It's right, just do it. But then they stop. He made this statement. I would rather for them, how did he put it? I would rather them do the wrong thing than to not do nothing at all. If you don't do the wrong thing, you're not practicing. Losing is practicing before you get in the game. If you don't practice, if you don't push the button, you're most certainly going to lose. Even in practice, you're going to lose the practice. I mean, you have no option to win. You didn't leave yourself an option because we as adults, get to my next point. Us as adults are significantly more handicapped than the youth. I had my nephews in here a couple of weeks ago because I sat them down in here, and I'm looking to bring all that youth, that energy. I told them, you're going to be my youth advisors. Gentlemen, I decided last night that when I form my board, I'm going to have a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old on this board with me.
All right.
It's strategic. Because I don't need old energy. I need someone that's going to challenge me and say, so I gave permission. I told him, when you come to service, if I say something to you that you don't get to say, I make it plain for me. I need you to tell me that. Because the message really ain't for us adults in the room. I mean, we've been there, and if you can get something out of it, I'm here to give it. But don't you know when the president gives his annual addresses, they give the addresses at the level of an 8th grader. We talked about it. Because there's so many different variations in levels of how people learn and obtain. You got to make it simple. But when you make it simple, you can grasp it. So I figured if I speak in a way that my 9-year-old and my 13-year-old nephews get it, nobody else has an excuse. So really, I'm gearing it for them. We're just along for the ride. This is just rehearsal for us because we've heard it all. But don't you know that every time you hear it again, you hear something different? So even if this came to you in a cartoon form, sometimes my commentary is based on cartoons that I've watched. Remember, my kids, when they grew up, they was watching VeggieTales. The one that stands out to me was Noah was a prophet. Remember that one? I learned from that video because it was just so simple. Because when you read the Bible like we read as adults, we see it from adult eyes. We see it from conditioned eyes. We have built-in blockages because we've been trained and taught not to lose. We're afraid to lose. We're afraid. We're afraid to push the button because we don't want to get it wrong. And we do nothing. We can't see what he's saying because most of us have built-in blockages where there's a sign that when you guys came in, I've got a blue wall here. That blue wall is there in preparation for what's to come. Can you bring up that sign is what's going to go out there on that blue wall. I will see it when I believe it. Not I believe it when I see it. See, what we want to do now, God tells us, I'm going to give Jericho unto you, and the kings and everything that they own is going to be yours. Our take on it is, okay, I'll believe it when you see it, when I see it. We don't want to let it develop. We won't trust him that he's just going to make that happen. We got to go, we'll put a toe in, but won't jump all the way in based on his word. So God took me, he took me to, so I felt like I had to, when I talked about my nephews and making it plain, I felt like, because I know they may not understand why we are here and why we do what we do. How do we all get here? And I felt like I need to quickly go over to them how what happened to Adam and Eve, why Adam and Eve fell. But even before that, how sin got on the earth and what we're contending with, and why Adam and Eve failed, and why God had to come and save us because we were destined to doom. But in that, the same enemy that tricked Adam and Eve is the same enemy that's still here trying to trick us. So the enemy that was cast out of heaven because he was arrogant, prideful, and wanted to be, hear me nephews, he wanted to be like God. And God said, And he had his angels kick him out, and they came here, and it's almost as if, and this is my commentary. Okay, God, I don't like what you did, so I'm going to make it hell for everybody down on the earth that you put down there with me. I'm going to make it hard. I'm going to try to take out every one of the things that you love. I want them all, just out of spite. That makes sense, nephew? Okay. He's doing it because he's a hater. He's mad. So in that, he's built into the system that we all walk around and act like this is just the norm. It's his. It's already put in place for us to trip, to fall. It's already there. The very thing that we call common and we see every day is a trap. But we don't look at it as traps. We look at it as entertainment. We look at it as something to do. But it's all geared to emasculate us. Now, nephew, emasculate. I looked it up for you because I know you was going to ask me. Where's emasculate? Where's my definition? To make someone or something less effective. The system is built to emasculate us from what is ours. It's stopping us from being able to see what's already ours. Yes. It's designed that way. I feel like what he wants me to do is say, hey, God, this is a trap. I know we're taught that we're going to go to school K through 12, and then we're going to go to college, and we're going to get married, and hopefully find somebody in college that we're going to marry, and then we're going to have a baby, and we're going to buy our first house, and we're going to get a dog, and we're going to have 3 kids, and we're going to put them through the same process, and we might find a church home. I don't know, feeling how we feel about it, but it's so many things. Now, hear me out. There's nothing wrong with anything I just said, but you got to also know that that's what the system wants you to stay right there. Don't do nothing else. Go get that job, buy the house, stay there for 30 years. Don't move. We don't want you to move. Don't try, and by the way, on the shiny new objects, go buy that car and get in debt and be there, because that's what the world describes happiness is. So you got to have 2 cars. One ain't good enough for you. You got to have 2 in a day. And if you're going to be doing like the Joneses, it's got to be something nice. It's got to be something nice. It can't just be something to get around in. It's got to be something nice. And when you go out, you got to have the shoes, and you've got to look like this image, because that's the goal that I want you to look at as being the goal. And we just buy into it. There's nothing wrong with having it. Listen, I like nice cars. I like some nice pair of shoes. But keep it in perspective. It is not my God, and I'm not going to get tricked and worship it. Because I can see So the system is designed to emasculate us. Okay? It's trying to rob us and make us less effective. So he took me to this. Now, nephew, this is not for y'all, this is for my nephews, okay? You guys know what glaucoma is? You ever heard of that? Glaucoma? Yes. Glaucoma is an eye disease. It's an eye disease that leads to the damage of the optic nerve. It will cause vision loss. It will cause your vision loss. It's an increased pressure. They've got an acute angle. Now, I guess it's an open angle and it's a closed angle where one is more severe than the other. But the whole goal is, they call it the silent thief. This is what got me. They call it the, I wrote it down somewhere. My notes are all over the place, guys. Oh, here it is. Glaucoma will cause loss of sight if left untreated. In the industry, it is called the silent thief of sight. The silent thief of sight. Because you'll go blind and not know you're going blind until you get to the stage where it's critical. It's a long, slow process that you don't even know you're in. If you're not aware, you won't pay attention to the fact that the system that we're in is designed to emasculate us, and we've been in it so long, we don't even know we're in it because we're just going with the flow. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying, nephew? So I'm bringing this stuff up, and I'm saying what I'm saying is because we have to be aware that it's all set up for our demise. And the only way that we're going to see what he is saying is that we're going to have to believe it before it happens. Fear, greed, all the vices and all the sins is all geared towards making you blind. It's all geared to emasculate you, so you don't even know that you're not successful. You don't even. One of my prayers, and I cringe. I don't even want to know, God, what I left on the table, because I didn't see what he had for me, but I chose something else and left it on the table. So when I went through the process with my vehicle, my first thought was, oh no, you can take this vehicle. And I was on a 3-month journey fighting GM to give me another vehicle. I was determined. I don't even want this vehicle back. They ended up replacing my whole steering column and was like, here. And mine, because popular opinion said, oh no, I don't want this vehicle back. But there's a front story to this. God gave me that vehicle in the first place. See, remember the part when I said he came and laid it at my, he gave me back my family and just laid them down to me? He knew that was going to happen when I bought the vehicle. And I bought the vehicle back down in South Carolina. When I went to get the vehicle, I got a couple minutes. When I went to get the vehicle, this is the story. I was looking for a black truck with all these different items on it. I found the guy in the not the phone book. We don't have phone books anymore. But I found him on the internet. I called him up on the phone. We worked out the deal. He said, okay, Mr. Howell, if you come right now, I'll have the truck waiting at the door for you, all shined up, waiting for you. I'll be at the door. I'm like, okay. So he texted me. I texted him. I said, I'm on my way. So I get in my truck. I drive to the dealership. When I pull up at the dealership, I pull into the parking lot, and I turn and I see the truck in the doors, and I see the two people standing in the door as if they're waiting. They were literally, when I pulled up, it was just two people standing in the window with nobody, no other customers in the dealership. It was just the three of us. It looked like just me and those two salesmen, female and a male. So I pull up, but when I pull up, I'm parked. I'm here, and the truck is right there, and I'm looking. I was like, that's a real nice truck, but it's the wrong color. That's not. Why does he have this truck? It was clean. Why is this truck sitting here? So I walk up and I'm looking around the truck. Now I'm kind of irritated because I asked you for a black truck. But I like this truck. It was a truck that I originally wanted, but I couldn't find it anywhere. They said it was sold. But I'm walking around, so the lady come out. She's like, "You like it, huh?" Oh, yeah. And I'm trying to ignore it because I know I was here to see John. And I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Is John here?" And she just turned around and looked. So the other white man came out. He said, "Hey, sir, how are you?" I'm good. I'm like, they both trying to talk to me because they see me looking at this truck. I was like, "Yeah, but I'm here to see John." And they both look at each other and they're like, "There's no John here. There's no John that works here." I'm like, so I pull up my phone. I'm like, "This John, he said, come, I'm on my way. I'm on my way." He said, "Okay, where's John?" I was at the wrong dealership. So I thought. So I'm standing there, and she's like, "Well, we had this truck for some other guy that called us, and he ain't here. If you want it, you can have it." And I'm looking around. I was like, "Okay, let's talk. It might be your lucky day." I went in, I consummated the deal, and I had to come back the next day. And I'm sitting there waiting on them to get my paperwork ready. Now, mind you, this is the part. The guy that I was originally texting and was waiting on me at whatever dealership this was, never called me back. There was never, "Hey, Mr. Harwell, you didn't come last night." Or, "Where are you? Are you on your way?" Not even 2, 3 days, not even a week later. He never called me back. The guy that was waiting on me at this supposed black truck never called me back. So the next day when I'm consummating the deal, I get to talking to her, and quite naturally, I get to ministering to her, and she's like, I'm talking about her faith, and she's like, and she just started crying. She's like, "My daughter, out of the blue, has just been asking me about Jesus, talking about she want to go to church, and I didn't know what to tell her. I ain't been to church in years, and here you is coming and talking to me about this, and I feel convicted." I was like, "Well, okay." My point is, at that point, I found out why I was there. It wasn't just for me to get a truck. It was for me to speak to this young lady who hadn't talked to Jesus in so long, and her baby is asking her, and she's been avoiding it. But yet, here's the truck that I originally wanted. So, God, my point is, that truck was uniquely designed and created for me. It wasn't meant for, this is the thing. Whoever John was, never called me, and the guy that was supposed to come get that truck never showed up. Neither one of these individuals ever showed up. My point is, that was my truck. So God knew that was my truck then. He knew it was my truck when she was stuck in the driveway. See what I'm saying? So, see, I'm on. See what I'm saying? I'm Jericho, I'm going to give it to you. See it. I need you to see it. I need you to see it before it happens. But I'm going to give you all that. I'm going to put it right back in your hand. In John 4:29, this is the woman at the well, and I'm wrapping up here with this. She at the end of it, in 29, she said, "I need you guys to come see this man, which told me all the things that I ever did. Is this not the Christ?" She was convinced at that point, without any information, just based on him knowing her past, she saw him. This woman that was unchurched, in the world, wasn't married to the husband, she was the fifth guy, she saw him. And she had to go run and tell. She saw it. And she did something with it. What I'm trying to say right now is that I know a man that if you would just see, If you will see him, all your issues, let me say that, because you're going to have issues. But you'll have issues as you walk with him and know the outcome. You don't have to be stuck in this hopeless state. You don't have to be stuck in this hopeless, because you can see the songs that we sang today. I'm going to see a victory. That means you have to be able to put down what you're going through in your household, in your marriage, in your school, at your job, and know you got the victory regardless, because you're going to go through it. But can you see it? Can you see what I'm saying? See, I said that term as, can you see what I'm saying? That was a question when I've been saying it, because I'm trying to get you. But he's saying, see what I'm saying. See, I'm saying. See, I'm saying. You know, see, he don't put the what in there. I'm telling you, this is yours. This is yours.